Welcome.
Thank you, Jenny. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on your location. My name is Salam Abraha. I work at Plan International African Union Liaison Office based in Addis. So thank you, everyone, for joining this virtual commemoration of the Day of the African Child under a theme Africa Fit for Children. Partnering for the implementation of African Agenda for Children, Agenda 2040. This will be a virtual intergenerational dialogue as we commemorate the Day of the African Child. And also we'll take this opportunity to also award the Let's Choose to Challenge competition, which kicked off in March 2021. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the partners in this engagement. Alongside Plan International, we also partnered with the GMAC Network, CSO Forum, Toto News, Save the Children International, and also other partners in this virtual commemoration. I would also would like to give you a bit of a background on this program, which has twofold importance. One is, as I've tried to mention, to commemorate the Day of the African Child. It will be like we'll be talking amongst ourselves and also the youth and children present in this meeting on what it means for an African child, on what it means by African Fit for a Child. As you all know, on the 16th of June, we celebrate the Day of the African Child in Africa to commemorate the gains and wins that we have achieved in ensuring that Africa is fit for children. Today, we shall also in this meeting explore and define the best approaches toward a multi-stakeholder implementation of Agenda 2040. For the realization of children's rights in the continent, also drawing upon the 30 years of the implementation and also adoption of the Charter, the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. In addition to the planned panel discussion and the second set of the program, we'll be awarding winners of the Let's Choose to Challenge competition, which kicked off in March, as I tried to mention earlier. And we are also very excited to announce the winners and also show some of the works as it fits, and also somewhat touch upon some of the discussion that we'll be having in the first session.
Recording in progress.
We are also very happy and excited to be joined by colleagues from Kenya Assembly, from the African Union, from Facebook, and also from Kenya National Assembly. So before we go into the opening remarks, I would like to mention a few housekeeping points. As I speak, maybe Jenny, you can show some of the hashtags that we'll be using in this commemoration. So on the housekeeping notes, we would like to mention the safeguarding principles. One, as it's an intergenerational dialogue also with the presence of children, all guardians and chaperones are asked to ensure every child is safe and supported to participate meaningfully in this event. We would also like to encourage participants to keep the space safe for all to engage. There is also simultaneous interpretation, French, English, and Arabic. So if you click on the word sign on the bottom of your screen, you'll be able to change the language settings based on your preference. We'll also like to encourage participants to put their names and where they work in the chat functions, and to always have their mics on mute unless that person is speaking. We'll be tweeting from different accounts, from international accounts, from Plan MISA, ULO, Plan WACA, from Toto News, from GMAC Network, CSO Forum, Save the Children. Would also like the same kind of action from everyone. Please use the hashtags, hashtag Africa Fit for Children, Africa Fit for Girls, hashtag Let's Choose to Challenge. I think, Jenny, yes, you have provided the information on the screen. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the keynote speaker for this session. I would like to introduce Samuel Norga, who's the Director of Plan International African Union Liaison Office, to give the opening remarks. After Samuel Norga, we will call on Honorable Esther from Kenya National Assembly to give us also her opening keynote address. Then it will be followed by Felicitas Motimidi, representing the CSO Forum. Sam, over to you.
Sam, you're muted.
Hello?
Yes, Sam, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So I was saying, sorry about that. I was saying it's indeed a pleasure to be here, and I think it's important that we acknowledge this day, especially as we celebrate another occasion to acknowledge all the difficulties and challenges that children go through. And so, Excellencies, panel members, girls, boys, young children who are all part of this celebration, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and partners, I would like to thank the organizers of this event for inviting me to give an opening remark during this year's commemoration of the Day of the African Child, especially under the theme African Fit for Children, partnering for the implementation of Africa's agenda for children. Today's commemoration includes an award ceremony, as Salam mentioned, for the winners of the Choose to Challenge competition, which was launched in March of this year. On behalf of Plan International and on my own behalf, I would like to use this occasion to pay tribute to our gallant children, particularly girls who unfortunately continue to bear the burden of societal injustices and who we are unable to protect at all times. These children continue to strive and survive under very challenging circumstances. We owe them a great deal of gratitude and appreciation for their bravery and resilience, which led to the unfortunate events of June 16, 1974. The world is a better place, and that is because children continue to challenge and choose to challenge the status quo. And they drive change towards gender equality and improved living conditions, a change towards an Africa where boys and girls are all treated equally and presented with equal opportunities as envisioned in the Agenda 2040. Notwithstanding the challenges children face, it's also heartwarming and encouraging to note that various countries on the continent have formulated policies and legal frameworks and have invested in various infrastructure for improvement in the living condition of children. We continue to witness improved health, education, and nutritious condition of children among those countries that are working. The past 1 year, however, have threatened to derail some of the gains made in improved condition of children. COVID-19 has continued to bring about chaos in our societies and creates chances for young people and children to be further abused and deprived of rights which they haven't enjoyed before the outbreak of the pandemic. Access to health, education, livelihood, nutritious meals, and to a large extent, freedom of movement have been greatly curtailed as a result of measures put in place by government to halt the spread of the pandemic. Millions of children and young people in Africa live in an environment where violence, child marriages, FGM, gender inequality, climate change, hunger, and armed conflicts deprive them of being children and shatters any hope of a meaningful future for children. As we commemorate this day within the framework of Agenda 2040, it's important to recognize the laudable aspirations which can only be achieved through strengthened and deliberate partnership among stakeholders. Achieving the fundamentals of Agenda 2040 could elude us unless we step up our interventions and investments to create a continent that is fit for its children and, by extension, its people. As we engage in today's intergenerational dialogue, it would be important to explore options for close collaboration among state institutions, the private sector, development partners, and CSOs, including those led by young people. I see today's dialogue as an opportunity to engage in an open and constructive conversation on how the continent can and should accelerate the implementation of Agenda 2040 as the continent takes stock of the last 5 years under the 5-year phased monitoring and evaluation plan. As we engage in this dialogue, it would be good to also try to achieve the following objectives: develop a multi-stakeholder implementation and roadmap for COVID-19 towards policy, systems, and behavior change, and a better partnership for realization of children's rights on the continent. Celebrate, amplify, and showcase adolescents and young people who work towards challenging the unique barriers that they face in achieving their aspirations. Adopt an outcome statement collecting children's voices across the continent and the reflection on the implementation of Agenda 2040. Achieving an Africa Fit for Children and aspiration happen through an accelerated transformation of our institutions and a well thought out partnership and collaboration structures, framework, and thought. We need to be deliberate and form alliances which will leverage our collective experience, expertise, and resources. As our distinguished panel discusses the topic for the commemoration, I believe we would all collectively rally behind the call for an effective and dynamic partnership to promote, generate, and create children's rights. As an institution that advances children's rights and equality for girls, Plan International reaffirms our strong commitment to continue to work with all relevant stakeholders to build a strong partnership for change, protection of children's rights, and acceleration of effort towards the achievement of aspirations of Agenda 2040. Change will happen, but it will only happen if we purpose to be part of the movement that promotes that change. We need to be part of the change that we want to see. Finally, I would like to use this opportunity to congratulate the winners of the Choose to Challenge competition. I would want to encourage them to live their dreams, and by living their dreams, also carry others with them. Thank you very much, and I wish all of us a fruitful celebration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you for the words of advice as well. Now we proceed to the second keynote speaker, Honorable Esther Pazaris, Kenyan social entrepreneur, philanthropist, and also member of the Kenyan National Assembly. Honorable Esther, the floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to all the partners for never tiring to put their resources towards this worthy cause of protecting our children. I also want to congratulate all the winners for the efforts that they've made in depicting the issues, and even those who did not win, to say that participation is in itself being a winner. So I want to give a bit of a brief about Kenya in terms of the existing legislation and check what has been implemented and what has not been implemented. So Kenya has ratified the key international documents aimed at protecting children from abuse and neglect, mainly the 1989 Child Rights Convention and the 1990 African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. It sought to implement these documents through the enactment of the 2001 Children's Act. In 2010, Kenya reformed its constitution, which now includes express language mandating the protection of children against abuse. Neglect. I want to say their husbands for children, because the husbands would just say no, and then the onus on proving that a child was born, that the men had to take responsibility. It was almost like the woman was the one who took responsibility for the child and the pregnancy. The men could just walk scot-free. But in the 2001 which has been tested and tried by many people, including myself. But of course, that meant that men who acquired parental responsibility could actually be held responsible for their children. So even though we have challenges of single mothers, the fact that we have this act that is always being improved shows that women no longer are blamed for getting the child, and left on their own, even though we still have to do a lot more. In addition, Kenyan statutes include provisions like prohibition of female genital mutilation, the Employment Act, the Sexual Offences Act, the Trafficking in Persons Act, the Penal Code, the Marriage Act, the Domestic Violence Act, the Evidence Act, the Basic Education Act, the Alcohol and Drinks Control Act, and the Refugee Act. That doesn't stop, of course, our children having to access drugs and alcohol, because we do have people who have no values and scruples, and they actually prey on our children. So we need to have a lot more budgets to police and to educate and to sensitize. In terms of the Education Act, I mean, just yesterday, I had a boy waiting for me in the parking lot of where my building is, my office is, and he was begging me. He was saying, please, I need to report back to school, and I don't have the money. The landlord has locked our house because my mother is sick in Kiambu Hospital, and she's got cancer, and I need to get back to school. Now, this is an A student. And I looked at him and I said, look, can you come back to my office tomorrow and I'll see what I can do. So I checked it out and I thought, okay, all his clothes are locked because of the landlord not being paid. This little boy required just $50 to get him back to school, to buy him the shirt, the bag, the sweater, and to give him the transport to get back to school. And he reported to school today. Now, he reached me. How many others cannot reach me? So sometimes it's not enough just to have a law. It's important, and we have civil society, and I mean, I really pray that we can convince the donors to continue, in spite of the pandemic, giving this civil society money, because interventions are so necessary. This boy, even though we have a helpline 116, could not really know how else to do it. He just felt, let me go and look for my member of parliament, and he stopped at the parking. So he reported back to school yesterday, and now, of course, we're going to look for his mother. But can you imagine, you're 16 years old, and you have to deal with the fact that you don't know how to report back to school. So as a legislator, I feel it's one thing to have the law. It's quite another to have the resources to intervene when you have such cases. And it's a really sad story, because protecting our children is more than just the law. It's actually being so connected with them, from counseling to resources. And I mean, as I said, $50 got this boy back to school. And imagine his mother is in hospital. So I feel sometimes that humanity needs to just somehow be boosted so that people can do a lot more. And of course, we've also got to keep talking family planning, because as long as we don't talk family planning, we're going to have a lot of children who cannot be protected and provided for. As we sit today to provide for the budget for this country, everybody is up in arms and saying we are overboard, we don't need more money. And can you imagine if we only have 30% remaining for us to utilize, and we have to spend it for everything, that all the ministries, how much we're going to children? I know that private sector does its part, but children are suffering, and right now they're being told that they have to pay parents have to pay the school fees, and they don't have it. So for me, I sit here and I say that we can't look at everything in terms of legislation. We've got to look at it in terms of getting it right from the onset. A woman having 8 children, when she has no job, needs to be educated on the need to family plan, so that you can be able to sustain your children, because government can only do so much, private sector also can only do so much, and civil society as well. So one of the most notable examples of the length Kenya has gone to ensure child protection can be found in the country's Evidence Act. The Act originally required collaboration of the evidence against the accused person. Due to the fact that most child sex abuse occurs in private, this made it very difficult to convict persons accused of such crimes, and most of them walked scot-free. In 2006, Kenya amended the Act to allow courts to convict defendants in child sex offense cases without collaboration, if the court is satisfied that the child victim witness is telling the truth. So that has seen a lot of perpetrators actually get jailed. Kenya also appears to be a long way from providing effective child protection systems. In 2015, the policy document National Plan of Action notes that while the country has put in place a solid legal framework to protect children, children remain largely vulnerable. To rectify this challenge, the document has put in place 54 action points categorized into 13 different groupings Among them is the establishment and strengthening of the monitoring and evaluation systems in the child protection sector to inform decision-making in policy and program implementation levels. In 2017, Kenya launched an online portal, the Child Protection Information Management System, to manage, track, and report on child protection activities. Among many other things, the system is designed to capture data on children affected by violence, abuse, neglect, and exploitation, as well as child marriages and teenage pregnancies. Kenya runs 24-hour toll-free emergency public helpline 116, used for reporting cases involving children in need of care, protection. Data collection from helpline 116 reportedly informs the formulation of child policies. Now, all this is fantastic. So we have to celebrate our wins. But at the end of the day, data is only good if it's analyzed, and then you have interventions to give remedies to all the problems that you find. And then the big word in the room is always resources, resources, resources. And then you may have rights, but if you don't have information about those rights, then you have no rights. So I believe that we need to do a lot more in sensitizing the public. We do have, under my National Affirmative Action Fund, we have civic money. But of course, the pandemic has slowed us down because we're now not able to actually conduct civic in public spaces. And not everybody is on social media platforms. And we saw that when we had online learning, a lot of the most vulnerable population were not able to access learning because they didn't have laptops and computers. So every country has a strategy to protect its children. And I think Kenya has it too. But with limited resources, I believe that we've got to go back to the drawing board and look at our population explosion and educate people and sensitize people. So I advocate for absolute family planning and empowerment of the woman so that she's able to then provide for her children. Because laws are only as good as how far they can be implemented and how wide they can be utilized by the citizens that it's trying to protect. So well done for always having this conversation around our children. And I offer myself to always be available to work with the players that we have in our own country. I'm really proud of Mtoto News. I'm proud of the fact that right now missing children are highlighted almost immediately through our social media platforms. So we're getting the wind of how to protect our children. But we've got many, many, many steps to take going forward. And I thank all the partners today for keeping this dialogue of intergenerational partnerships for Africa and the children's agenda. So I wish you all the best, and let's not tire. They are our children. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Esther, for the wonderful words of advice, and also stressing the fact that not only should be following up on the legislations aspect as well, but ensure that the implementation is on track, and also follow up on the different legislation that states have signed on. Thank you very much for joining us as well. We're very happy, excited to see you here. Next, I'll move on to Felicitas Motimendi, who will be also giving a keynote address representing the CSO Forum. Felicitas, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Salam. Thank you, Salam. And just to start off by saying that I am currently in a workshop, so my background might not be so visible, but I'll try and see if this is working. Thank you so much, Salam. And first of all, let me start off by thanking the previous speakers, Sam and Honorable, in terms of the background you've laid out. Indeed, it's a very beautiful opportunity for the CSO Forum to have you here today as part of the event, particularly having you to give us the welcome remarks, but touching on issues that really for us as civil society organizations, particularly the child sector, issues that we are dealing with every day. And these are issues that we seek to make a difference and ensuring that children's rights are realized. I want to also just, Salam, to thank everyone who is in this meeting, because we know, Salam, that this is the time of the year where everyone really has so many other commitments, and their being here really shows that they're committed to the issues that we're talking about, that they are committed to ensuring that we can have children's rights realized. It's a commitment that we really do seek to make. Oh, apologies. We do seek to make a change in the sector that we are in. As the civil society organizations, we really take partnerships seriously, and we want to thank Plan International, we want to thank Save the Children, we want to thank other developmental partners, UNICEF and the like, who have been holding our hand technically and financially to ensure that these partnerships really do bring value to the work that we do, because we find ourselves really having needy resources technically and financially that can facilitate for us to reach children, facilitate for us to reach adolescent and young people, facilitate for us to make this dialogues that we're having today, and particularly reach out to duty bearers and stakeholders that can make a difference as we seek to influence policy and practice. As the Civil Society Forum, we exist to ensure that the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child is implemented. We monitor how it's being implemented, and we appreciate that at the core of all of this, we have been able to involve children to take part in every initiative that we do. We have been able to engage with children such that we can hear what their views and concerns are. And today's theme, speaking to partnership in the implementation of Agenda 2040, sits squarely in child participation and how we ensure that child participation becomes the center of what we do and becomes the center in terms of us reflecting on whether what we are doing is making a difference or not. So in terms of this event, I would like to say that thank you so much to the panel. We really do appreciate your being here, and that the discussions that we're going to have will be discussions that will facilitate for us to improve on the interventions that we are providing, will be discussions that also make us to reflect on where the gaps are in terms of what we are currently doing, but also to appreciate some of the issues that we need to change, as you would also appreciate later on as we do the rewards, that the conversations that are coming from young people in terms of what they seek to see changing are issues that perhaps we can all contribute to, so that we have all hands on deck and ensure that these are done for us to reach the Agenda 2040 and ultimately to reach Agenda 2063 as we ensure that Africa does become fit for children. Once again, Salam, let me thank everyone who is on the call, on the call, and thank the panelists. We look forward to the engagement. We look forward to the thought-provoking submissions that we know that we're going to have from them, and also congratulate the winners of today who are going to be receiving the prize, and encourage them that they should do more in terms of engaging with their peers, but also in terms of nudging civil society organizations within their jurisdictions to do more, and also help us as we hold duty bearers accountable to reporting, but also to reviewing laws and policies, but also to ensure that we have the right frameworks that facilitate interventions that can change their lives. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Felicitas, and also thank you for the keynote address. I I would also like to say thank you again for showing commitment in making sure that Africa is fit for children, and also the work that you do at the CSO Forum. So thank you, keynote speakers. Thank you, Sam, Honorable Esther, and also Felicitas for your opening remarks, and also your continued support throughout the process. As you have rightly said, Felicitas, like we must ensure and recommit ourselves in making sure that Africa is fit for children. I would also like to recognize the presence of Dr. Naranzai, who's the AU Goodwill Ambassador on Ending Child Marriage, and also Dr. Tapiwa from the AU Women, Gender and Youth Directorate. They will be giving us their words of encouragement and also congratulatory remarks in the second part of the panel. Before I hand over the moderation to my colleague George, I would like to give Jennifer 5 minutes to take us through an interactive poll of this session on menti.com. Jenny?
Thank you, Selam, and thank you, everyone. So I'm going to ask you to go to Menti. So I'm going to share the link. Just give me a second, it has hanged. So you go to mentimeter.com and you look for that, and let's see. So you just go to mentimeter.com and use this code 69647095 to interact, so we can be able to hear from you in one word. What does Africa Fit for Children mean to you? So we want to hear from you. What does that mean? So you go to mentimeter.com and use the code 69647095. It's free. You're not going to be charged. You can use it on phone or on your computer. So I want to see if I can see the responses coming for 2 minutes as George is preparing.
If you can repeat the code, Jenny.
The code is 69647095, sorry. 69647095. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They are coming in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just one word. Thank you very much. Educated, empowering, security. Thank you. Keep them coming. Loved, participation. I'm sure participation, that's a child who has said that. Enjoyment, protected, loved. Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. So the big ones is peace, protection, empowering, security. George, are you ready? This is what we want for Africa. I'm hoping you're coming here with all the speakers. I can see all our keynote speakers are in, all the panelists are in. I am hoping you can see what we want for Africa, an empowering Africa, participation for our children, protection for our children, peaceful Africa for our children, accommodating. Thank you so much. Back to you, George. But keep the questions coming, keep the response coming. I will share the screen later. Thank you so much, George.
Thank you, Jennifer. I mean, this is a great opportunity. Welcome everybody to the panel part, which seeks to really discuss with the panelists some of the progress that we have made, some of the aspirations that children aspire to really have felt in terms of well-being, in terms of their lives. So, co-host, kindly hold on before we start the video, please, later. Thank you. So within this panel, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. As my colleagues have referred to me, George Oma is my name, and I work for Plan International as the policy advocacy and research advisor. I'm sitting in for Angela Machonesa, who is my colleague and was supposed to be part of this process, but engaged. So I will take you through this panel and facilitate, the panelists to really discuss and digest some of the issues that have been raised. As a matter of fact, through that Mentimeter, then we see some of the, the issues that really speak to the aspiration, the 10 aspirations as identified within the Agenda 2040. Literally, we will seek to have a meaningful participation with this particular panelists and to ensure that children, views are heard, aspiration number 10, which is critical. And within the panels, ladies and gentlemen, if you allow me to introduce, we had anticipated to have Esther Pesaris, Honorable, the Kenya parliamentarian, being part of this panel, but due to time, constraint, she did an opening remarks, and therefore, just as I mentioned, she will not be part of it. But again, if she finds time to join us, she can be part of the discussion. Secondly, we had Dr. Nyarazai, who was also supposed to be part of the panelists, but she will be giving a keynote closing remark, and therefore, kindly, if you will be having opportunities to make your contribution, that would be great. And therefore, for this particular session, I am left with, Sherry, who is Director of Policy Programs, Africa, Middle East, and Turkey for Facebook. She will be part of this panel and really bringing, the aspect of the private sector to really make sure that we can be able to appreciate the role of multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder engagement in really implementing Agenda 2040, but ensuring that the 10 aspirations of children are actually intended with what countries are doing. And to really, really make it, more meaningful, we will be having, children also be participating. So we are now with a children representative from Sierra Leone. She will be part of this discussion and will speak to specific aspects of what we are going to really be able to discuss. We will also have Honorable Sidoku Isitop. Apologies if I don't pronounce it well. She is, an African committee expert on the rights and welfare of the child. She's a special rapporteur on child protection, and she will help us understand some of the aspects, and more importantly, some of the progress that have been made during the last 10 years. Then we'll also have another child representative, and this is from Sudan. Rila will really, drive the voice of the children from South Sudan, and this is some of the things we need to hear in this particular forum. And therefore, finally, we'll also have another child, Nagat, who is from the National Council of Child Welfare from Sudan. And really, this is one of the the session that really speak to, the aspiration, but also what previous, speakers have alluded to. How do we make sure that this platform and participation for all stakeholders, because really the way to drive and implement the Agenda 2046, to ensure that we are all part of the implementation process, we are participating, and we are making sure that these aspirations really speak to what the children desire currently and both in the past. So at this juncture, before I move to the panels, we can now play the video. So, the tech team kindly play the video as we prepare to move to the panelists.
Just a second, I'm setting it up.
Great. A voice is necessary for us to know that it's working. Thank you.
Nthawi zina ziganizo zomwe timapanga pa moyo wathu zimabweretsa mavuto osiyanasiyana ku banja kwathu.
Christina.
Mama basi ndo pera school. Mukati mupita muthandaza kuti cha. Mukuthandaza kuti chani? Iwe ndapanga kola yako usipita ku school. Iwe zilota kulisana kuti cha. Iwe ni sikana sungaphunzire. Ndipo ife ukuphunzitsa iweyo sikana. Tikhala kuti tikuononga ndalama pamene popo.
Koma msizabwino na maya.
Palibe sopita ku school iweyo. Ukuyena ukhale pa nyumba.
Kuda iwe bwanji. Kutayakwana kuti chani? Zilota kambiyana kuti chani? Kodi mimese nobwe mama nokwata amene?
Zona.
Kajoka mupita ukavula uniform hapa.
Akubwera usakwatirani ino ukhani yanu ndikusuka mbale ndikugwira ntchito tapita ndimukavule mukamanisa kubeko mbwe musasuke mbale.
M'bale wanune ndaziona zonsezo chifukwa chokakamiza mwana wanga kukwatiwa asanakule. Ndinamuletsadi skulu ndipo anakwatiwa ndi mwamuna wopyola msinkhu wake. Christina mwana wanga akhala ndi pakati ndipo ku chipatala amuwuza kuti ali ndi matenda a HIV/AIDS. Zinali zowawa kwambiri ku banja lathu titamva izi. Nthawi inakwana yoti apite kobereka. Adatumiza uthenga kwa mayi yake omwe anamutengera ku chipatala. Zomvetsa chisoni Christina analephera kubereka. Kamba kakuti thupi lake linali losakhwima. Kamba kolephera kubereka, Christina anamwalira. Mwana yonso anamwalira kamba kobanika. It was a great loss to our family. We lost our daughter Christina and her child.
Kupanda kumutumiza mwana wathu kale wa banja mwachangu. Sibwizi titamuloza.
It was a double loss.
Thank you so much. That is one of our winners of the Let's Choose to Challenge. And congratulations. George, back to you.
Thank you and congratulations to the winner. Allow me to depict that particular video and summarize it in terms of double loss. This is exactly what we are likely to experience in Africa, in the various countries that we are representing in this platform, if we do not protect the girl child. I mean, it could not have been put better in terms of, from the video, in terms of the word double loss. So as we proceed with the discussion, I want us to really reflect on what a double loss, a double GDP loss we will have in countries in Africa if we do not protect the girl child. I mean, just to really reflect on some of the key issues that the previous speakers have raised. There's one key thing that globally and in Africa and in many countries, people have alluded to in terms of progress. There are policies that have been put in countries, and I think Honorable Basaris really put that very well in Kenya as a case study. There are also legislative frameworks that have been put, in various countries to really protect the child. And more importantly, many of the African countries have, signed or, ratified the various charters as, stipulated in the Agenda 2030. More or less, there's progress that has been made in various parameters. Whether you look at education, there's progress in education because many countries, and I could mention just two Kenyan she-cells who are, proclaimed free primary education, and many other countries are joining just to make sure that the 10 aspirations of the children, as stipulated in the Agenda 2030, and of course the African Charter, is actually implemented in countries. We cannot, stop there. We must make sure that we ensure that these policies, these legislative frameworks are actually implemented. And allow me to also mention that Honorable Sari puts it very well. You can have very good laws. You can have very good policies. You can develop the best strategies and agendas. The most important thing is, translating these, pieces of guidelines of policy of legislation into action so that the 10 aspirations are actually achieved in each and every country that today some are represented here. The fact that we have a multisexual representation, we have governments represented here today in this discussion. We have, parliamentary representation. We have various honorable at the African Union. And we also have children, seeks to, depict the rationale and the purpose by which a multi-stakeholders, coordination, implementation, response is likely to really inspire and drive, more and better impact and progress within our countries that we are representing. And therefore, it's important for us to appreciate why partnering towards implementing the Agenda 2030, and especially the 10 aspiration, is critical in its term, but also in its letter, as in the articles that I know most of you are very conversant with. And just to make sure that we underscore the importance of the key players. We have the civil society who are represented here today. There are a number of implementation frameworks and infrastructure that have been put in place. And we know there are also donors who have been responsive and supported some of the work that CSOs are doing. We also appreciate that governments have also rose to the occasion and ensure that the policies, that the various legislation in countries and the various aspects, looking at the parameters that depict the aspiration, are actually now being operationalized. We cannot therefore, leave out the private sector. And in this particular panel, we have, invited Sherry, who is the the director of policy programs in Africa, to really help us understand, how the private sector has actually made its contribution. And I want to go straight to you, Sherry, and, given the interest of the private sector has in supporting the development of competent and, of course, globally competitive workforce, we know, when you ensure that a child's well-being is taken care of, then we know we are preparing, our country, our continent for a competitive workforce. Evidence shows that this is most effective when fostered during the early years of development. And I think that's a very important aspect that I know Sherry will speak to us about. In the wake of the digital adoption, Sherry, how can we effectively garner private sector support towards the investment in children? Sherry, kindly speak to us to that particular subject. Over.
Okay, thank you so much, George, for the introduction. And again, thank you so much for the invitation to be a part of this conversation. I'm very much, sorry, apologies, my video's off. But yes, I'm very much excited and honored to be a part of this discussion. So to answer your question, I cannot speak on behalf of private sector broadly, but I can speak on behalf of the work that we do at Facebook and the way that we think of these things within our organization. So as you mentioned, I do head up policy programs for Africa Turkey and the Middle East region. And the core sort of purpose of our work is to build partnerships with organizations on the ground who've been devoted to a number of issues for quite some time, and to look at that spirit of collaboration to ensure that we're bringing the best value in the communities in which we serve. And there are a few key pillars and areas that we focus on quite often. And I think if we're just looking at sort of the youth space, I think skills development is at the core of a lot of the work that we do. And when I say skills, we kind of tend to look at things in two elements. There's digital literacy skills, which is empowering young people with the knowledge and the know-how to basically make smart and responsible decisions online. And that could cover a number of different things, everything from news literacy, so understanding how to decipher and make critical decisions with content that they see on online platforms, to understanding their own agency, how to represent themselves as individuals on digital platforms. As we know that nowadays, that when one is looking to get a job, they're often Googled. So how is it that you can, as a young person, be empowered to build your own digital footprint in a way that shows up really well, and that you can kind of use that for your own development as well? How to stay safe. So understanding just basic well-being and how to avoid things around bullying, things around harassment, and other kind of elements that young people are constantly sort of grappling with online, and how to empower them to stay safe themselves, and understanding the tools that are available that they can sort of use that are either built within the Facebook platform, but also just understanding how to navigate wider digital platforms in that sense as well. And then also understanding things around privacy as well, and understanding your own settings. So I think these are things that are relevant to a wider network of people. As long as you have access to digital technologies, we do believe that it is your right to have access to information on how you can kind of navigate and make the internet your own space. Make it in a way that it is most conducive to your own development, most conducive to your own growth. And a lot of that requires that you have a very basic level of digital literacy skills. And again, when I say digital literacy, these aren't things like how to technically use a computer, but more along the lines of how to actually navigate responsibly on digital platforms. And knowing that we have, obviously billions of users across the world, and a number of young people who are on our platforms across the world, this is quite imperative in order to ensure that people are engaging in a very safe manner on our platform. So how that looks is in a couple of ways. I mean, I think, we look at things around, I would say there are two key areas. One, on collaboration. So it's our understanding that we have tools that are available on our actual platform that people can leverage to build the best sort of life and best world online. But then there are also collaborations. So how do we work with organizations like Plan International? How do we work with organizations like Ubongo Kids, who we work with in Kenya, or Digify Africa, who we work with in South Africa, or Relearn, who we work with in Nigeria, who have been investing themselves in work in supporting young people, whether it be through skills to employment opportunities, or basic kind of safety and wellness programs in communities as well. How do we bring our ethos together with civil society, with local NGOs who are doing this work as well, so that we can co-create initiatives to train and support young people in that journey? And then there's also the work, the things that we have on our platform. So tools that make it easy for young people to report content that they may see that's uncomfortable, to report situations where they may be bullying or harassed, or to give them access to places where they can go themselves if they feel like they're kind of experiencing these types of things on our platforms as well. And then using some of our programs to kind of bridge that and make people aware of what's currently available. But I think at the end of the day, it's really about sort of empowering young people with the tools and the access to make really smart and responsible and critical decisions themselves. And we do feel a responsibility to do so, considering the power and the influence that we have as a digital platform. But I think one of the things to definitely take away from this, most importantly, is that none of what we can do is possible without collaboration. So I don't think that any of this sits just with us. And I can't speak on behalf of the private sector broadly, but I think any organization that's looking to do work on the continent or work anywhere does have a sense of responsibility to empower the users of our, whether it's a platform or whatever that sort of organization is about. It ensures longevity and ensures for us a safe and conducive place for people to operate. So Facebook is no good as a platform if our users aren't having a safe experience. If our users aren't armed with the skills to make smart and responsible decisions and how they're engaging with our content, we want this to be a conducive place. And it's really sort of an imperative that we invest in partnership, that we invest in partner programs and initiatives that allow that to happen. So if young people are living a conducive life and that they are getting the most out of that experience, and it just makes our platforms a stronger and better place as well.
Thank you, Sherry. In fact, it's a good moment that the next person I'm bringing to really speak to what you've just said is a child from Sierra Leone. I mean, I'm looking at what the private sector has done, and specifically Facebook, in trying to empower, the youth, in trying to empower young people, just creating that digital platform. And you are called to really ensure that the civil society, the NGOs, become part of the private sector in terms of collaboration to help in co-creation and empower young people. And I want to bring Yanor here, who is a child from Sierra Leone, and to speak to us, because if what Facebook has done, and by extension, the private sector, it would be great to again now hear from a child what the government has done to the children. So Yanor will speak to us, and I want to throw this question. I know one of my colleagues is supporting Yanor from Sierra Leone. How has the COVID pandemic affected girls in the community you live in? This is we want to make this as practical as possible. And how do you feel government and children's rights organizations should respond to your needs? I mean, I know later, Sherry, you can think of how the private sector can respond, and by extension, what Facebook can do. But let's hear what Yanor feels that how the government and, of course, the children's rights organization can be able to respond to their needs. Yanor? So my team supporting, the speakers. Elsie is one of our...
Poliana, are you available? I think they dropped off. I just saw them a few minutes ago. We can proceed to have Rila from Sudan speaking to that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So I think this is still very relevant given the fact that the multi-sectoral approach is actually proving to be one of the best ways to really respond and ensure that the implementation of Agenda 2040 is actually one of the best that we can do. And I think given that fact, we know the African Union through the committee of experts is doing a great job in making sure that, this happens. And as we wait for Yanor to come on board to give us, a feel of what, of how the government can be able to really respond, I want us to listen to Honorable. The Honorable Sidoko and Aisato, and my apologies again for the pronunciation. I hope I can master it to the best. She can, I want you to speak to us about, the child participation and what you think, in terms of progress that has been made so far in looking at the aspiration. And you could give us examples of some of the countries that have really made progress in this particular agenda. So, Honorable Sidioko. Honorable, are you there?
Yes, she is. Honorable Sidiko.
Oui, bonjour, monsieur. Oui, bonjour, monsieur. Oui, je suis bien là. Je voudrais tout d'abord remercier le CSO Forum sur l'organisation de ce dialogue intergénérationnel sur la mise en œuvre de l'agenda 2040. Et c'est une rencontre très importante qui va nous permettre d'avoir une vue de la situation, de la mise en œuvre qui va nous permettre d'avoir une vue d'ensemble de la mise en œuvre de la Charte africaine des droits et du bien-être de l'enfant ainsi que de l'agenda 2040. Donc, par rapport au pays, je pense que tous les pays sont en train de faire une évolution par rapport à la participation des enfants. Nous avons, par exemple, des pays qui permettent aux enfants de présenter leur rapport sur la mise en œuvre de la Charte africaine des droits et du bien-être de l'enfant. Je peux donner l'exemple du Sénégal. Lors de l'examen du rapport de la société civile du Sénégal, les enfants ont participé à l'élaboration et encore mieux, les enfants du Sénégal ont préparé leur propre rapport par rapport à la mise en œuvre de la Charte africaine des droits et du bien-être de l'enfant. Donc, j'ai donné l'exemple du Sénégal, mais il y a encore beaucoup d'autres pays où je pense qu'il y a eu une évolution par rapport à la participation de l'enfant. Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Thank you. Thank you. I tried to get to the translator. I missed quite a bit of that. I think I'm just going to hopefully ask a little bit of one or two questions later to the Honorable. Sorry, who is speaking? Sorry, kindly, if you could type.
George, we can proceed. George, you can proceed.
Okay, I will continue. Sorry. Okay. So, sorry for that. Ladies and gentlemen. Team, there's a translation of the entire script of what the Honorable has shared on. Many of us can attest to some of the, the points she has provided. That child participation becomes the center of what we do and becomes the center in terms of on whether we are doing. So I'll let many of us get an opportunity to read that through the transcript. Please just take time to go through it. It captures some of the points that the Honorable has provided. Thank you very much for those comments. Okay, so Elsie, are you able to confirm whether Yanor is back?
At this point, at this juncture, we have had quite a bit of a lapse in our time, and we probably will need to proceed. I will be checking back with her. Maybe we can already dive into Havrila from Sudan, who was going to speak to the same issue that Yanor was going to speak to as we get to her. Rila Abdallah, I've seen you online. Please go ahead. You can put on your camera.
Thank you. I will go ahead and at this juncture. I want to move to our next panelist. And hopefully, if there are any questions to the Honorable, please post them. Great. So just to emphasize, child participation that has been spoken to by the Honorable Special Rapporteur, I want to welcome Rila, who is a child from Sudan. And we know the context of Sudan in terms of conflicts and crisis. And I hope our colleagues are supporting this child from Sudan. And the question I want to ask is, how has conflict and crisis in the midst of a pandemic challenged your life as a child? And Andrela can speak to any special area, right to education, right to protection, or justice.
Naila.
Over to you, Raila, and our colleagues from Sudan.
Hi, everybody. Actually, she's ready, to talk. Let me check and come back to you. She's.
If she's ready, kindly go ahead and support her to start talking, please. We wait for Raila to come aboard. I want to reiterate to the team that the chat should be open for you. If you have comments that we can later capture, I will have a very short session to just have one or two, people.
Arila is entering now. Yeah, sorry for that.
Sorry, we had some connection issues. Good afternoon. My name is Rila and this is my son from Khartoum, Sudan. Before I start, I would like to thank Plan International, Children's SCO Forum, GMAC Network for giving us this opportunity to be part of this intergenerational dialogue. We're very honored to be here today representing Sudanese children. On behalf of all Sudanese students and children, I would like to share our experiences during these unprecedented times of COVID-19 pandemic. Firstly, we were very terrified when we heard about the COVID-19 pandemic. We saw many people die and we had to follow all the restrict measures that were provided from our families, which were not being able to hug each other, to play at parks, even touch anything. We were wearing masks and using hand sanitizers all the time. We faced big challenges. On the first hand, education, and on the second hand, FGM. Let's start first off by education. Academic programs are being prematurely ended as it will not be safe for us to attend schools and universities. The alternative educational option that was available to complete the academic school year was online classes. Although this was a great idea, but it was not applicable for everyone in Sudan. Most of the students received no education and were isolated due to limited access of internet and technology. We really did face big challenges. We missed social interaction with our classmates, teachers, and catching up with our friends. Now, going to the FGM. FGM, as we all know, as female genital mutilation is a procedure where the female genitals are being deliberately cut, injured, or changed due to non-medical reasons. FGM is a crime against girls and humanity. It is a violation to the child's rights. We have to stop it. FGM has no health benefits, and it's a harmful practice that affects girls in many different ways. On behalf of all girls, please keep us safe. We are proud of our nature. Africa's Agenda 2040 for Children, which aims at fostering an Africa fit for children, seems a difficult dream to come true, especially at this time of the COVID pandemic. If only our leaders could adopt and implement the 10 aspirations in the Agenda 2040, children will begin to see hope where there's currently no hope. On the other hand, there is need to raise public awareness about the Agenda 2040. It seems that the world has forgotten about children's welfare and their future. Education is a basic human right, but this seems to be fading in Sudan. I believe that every child has the rights to benefit fully from quality education. And as Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. Life is indeed a mirror which gives us hope, resilience, courage, and happiness. It's better when we all help and share. That's the beginning of experiencing equal opportunities. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Raila. You could have not put it out there for us in the best way possible. Social interaction during the COVID pandemic, which affected children, and not just children, but also adults, because social interaction, we know, has to do with the well-being of everybody. Female genital mutilation, which is really, really a crime, as you put it, a violation of a child right. These are issues that we need to speak to. And the aspirations, the 10 aspirations actually seeks protection against some of these challenges. And of course, education, which is very critical, for this. So thank you so much, Raila. And I want Nagat Al-Assad to speak to this. Nagat, comes from the Sudan National Council of Child Welfare. The sentiment of Raila raises and requires a mechanism of continuous engagement with the children, to adequately implement and track progress over time for the realization of their right. This is a very important aspect because we know even in terms of implementation, we need to track and see where the progresses are, challenges are, and review, where we need to really have in some control measures. Are these child participation mechanism in place in Sudan? Please share your experience on this. Nagat, if we can take the floor and speak to us, and of course, reflecting on what Nagat what Raila has spoken to in terms of the aspiration and the challenges that the children face in Sudan.
Hello?
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you, and welcome.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to take this opportunity and the platform to congratulate the children of Africa for the occasion of the Day of Africa. Hoping the coming years will be more full of achievement for on the sake of the children and their protection and to fulfill their rights in all our countries. Really, Sudan, let me start by that. In Sudan has ratified the African Charter with the reservation on Article 10, 11, and 21 of the Charter. But the good news happened on the 10th of November of last year. The cabinet of Sudan decided to withdraw all Sudan reservation on the indicated 3 articles, which is good for our girls, especially for the girls. Firstly, Rila, thank you for your speech, and you touched really the challenges of Sudan nowadays. And maybe there is another thing that the last year with the change of political situation in Sudan, 2020 witnessed substantial legal amendment in Sudan that include a number of laws and amend of the provision of restriction, especially freedom of children according to the provision of 2019 constitutional document for the transitional period in Sudan. And this is one of the very important things that published in official Gazette in Sudan. One of the important achievements of women in the amendment made to the passport and immigration law of 2015, which include deleting the certificate of eligibility for Article 6, which is that requesting the consent of guardian as one of the infants who has to attain the age of 18 when travel with their mothers. This is very important for the right of children to move with their mothers without a restriction. The amendment, which touched criminal law, represented different lives of Sudanese children. And one of it, which will lead to the raise of age of criminal responsibility to 12 years instead of 7 years, as I stated before the amendment of criminal law. And one of that really talk about the problem of FGM in Sudan. And there is an article, it's called 141, that criminalizes this is practicing of FGM in Sudan, and which is this very long journey for this for combating this harmful practice on the girl in Sudan. So now in Sudan we have a very strong criminal justice system that prohibited the harsh punishment in school and replacing them with measures that do not restrict the freedom and the dignity of children. So also for the women, one of these replacing an imprisonment for pregnant women and also women accompanied with children in the prison. That they changed the act to with the alternative punishments, the community services, which is will be implemented in next maybe months, and it takes all the measurement in with the court, with the Ministry of Justice, and so. National Council for Child Welfare working with very cooperative and supportive from the national and international organization. We work closely with Plan International, Save the Children, and all the agencies, or most of UN agencies. They are support and financially and technically to fill or to implement all the articles that in African or in a CRC convention. Really, children, we have demonstrated good practices in Sudan in getting children involved in their discussion, the issue, and take decision through girl clubs and boy clubs and Sudanese Children Parliament, which they are well trained on the rights and protection of rights in children. They work in good and they participate in all the workshops and they are participating in all the events, and they are the part of really in decision making and part of writing reports for African Charter Committee. So, which is it is good for Sudanese to learn about what we are going on the child issue in Sudan. We involve all the community parts, families and teachers, also through the training of the armed forces and the family child protection units, the police, and all the staff of children in court. So we go in a good way in having a good situation for children in Sudan. Really, we have a challenge. As I said, or as in many countries of Africa, we have a challenge exactly, or especially in a settlement of peace and improving the economic situation of Sudan. And we have a challenge, as you know, all Africa countries have the same challenges. And we here, we want to ensure that the commitment of the government of Sudan to implement the article of 2040 agenda for Africa to be a fit for children, and with the help and support of organization, and also we have a good relation with the social regional or civil organization. We work together to fill all the children their rights and so. So thank you for your platform to reflect this about in Sudan, and really we go with your support and your cooperation in a good way on the sake of children of Sudan and Africa as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nagat. That was a good reflection, and it captivates, the aspiration as shared by, Rael. I mean, Sudan seems to have really done quite enormous work, and this is, like what I said earlier, is a reflection of the progress that has been made within the African continent. Thank you, and please keep up the good work. I think the laws, the amendments, are quite a show of progress and an evidence that Africa is responding to the Agenda 2040. I want to, I'm not seeing any questions. I assume people have comments. Please, I want to ask you to continue putting the comments, and I will request to end this session because we know we have gone over time for the panel, and because my colleague is prepared to move to the next session, which we have eaten quite a bit of time. I want to end here and thank all the panelists. You've done a good job. There's need for us to continue fostering collaboration. There's need for us to continue building linkages between the region and countries. And there's need for us to continue ensuring that at national level, we are working together and collectively we are building, an enabling environment for children. We are making sure that we are mobilizing resources to actualize some of the actions, some of the policies, some of the legislative framework that have been put in our countries. And we are making sure that at all times, child participation is very critical. At all times, the views of children are accommodated within the multisectoral engagement. Thank you all very much. It's been great, discussing with you. And I want to hand over to Selam. Selam, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, George, for the very interactive session. Thank you also for the panelists for ensuring, and also for the children participants for raising your voice in this important session. I also want to say we hear you, and also we ensure that in any advocacy and work that we do, we ensure that children participation is at the forefront of what we do. So thank you very much, George. Moving on to the next session, which I think most of us have been waiting for. will be the introduction of the winners of the competition. Let's choose to challenge competition. Again, also in this panel, I would also like to recognize Dr. Nerenza and also Dr. Tapiwa from the AU. Who will give us like words of encouragement after we announce the winner and also show some of their work. Before we go into announcing the winners from each categories, I would like to give the floor to Karen Odwasi, chairperson, GMAC Young Women Network, to give us a brief background overview and process of the competition. Karen, over to you.
Thank you so much, Selam, and good afternoon, colleagues. All protocols duly observed. My name is Karen, the GMAC Youth Chair, and I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the competition. I know we're excited to see who the winners are. So this competition was, we launched it on the 8th of March during the commemoration of the International Women's Day celebration in partnership with the CSO Forum, Plan International, and GMAC campaign. So as we are aware, this year we've celebrated International Day at a time where women and girls are facing so many challenges because of the pandemic. And as young people, we refuse to be challenged, and we refuse to just sit down and let all these barriers come in between us and our future. So we stood up and said, let's choose to challenge in different ways. Pardon? Sorry, okay. I thought someone was speaking. So the competition was open to young Africans aged 15 to 34 years old, and in line with the African Union theme of the Year of Arts, Culture and Heritage, we let this competition be in such a way that young people were able to express themselves and their ideas through creative writing and exciting digital content in video form. And the competition was in form of 5 themes, where we chose to challenge access to basic healthcare, access to education, to challenge ending child marriage, traditional gender roles, and also challenge to build the culture of peace and tolerance. So from the competition, we got total submissions of 173 submissions from young people across the continent. Out of 173, 108 were girls, 65 were young men. And we had a robust team of evaluators who have centered their work around young people, so we are sure they've given us their best. From this, we had representatives from IACSO, from YWCA, from Plan, and from the GMAC Youth. Out of the 173 submissions, we had 12 shortlisted candidates in the first round, and which later on we did another second round, which we had the last 9 people who came up as winners. So all the submissions were taken through a round of processes to ensure all the applicants were given us a fair chance, and we used a criteria which included the level of uniqueness. Does your submission catch our eyes? Does it address issues that are very critical to young girls in the community? We also ensured that the submissions align to the global and continental areas of girls and choosing to challenge all the barriers they face. Also, we made sure that these submissions were gender and youth responsive. And so in choosing the recipients for the prize, we made sure that there was authenticity in the submissions and there was clear passage of the message. So we also recognized that there were so many difficulties for young people because of the issue of internet. However, it is very impressive to know that we had so many youths giving it a try. And once again, we sadly note that North Africa were not actively involved in this process. And this is one of the issues we just need to continuously work on to ensure all the youths are involved. Out of these submissions that we got, and for the winners, we plan to continue using these as tools to influence all the key decision makers in critical spaces that protect the rights. Especially now in a time where we can't meet physically, these videos, these articles are very key in ensuring the messages go far and wide. And where are we going to start from? We're going to start from the 38th GMAC Summit, where we have stakeholders come together. So we're going to share these submissions to ensure the voices of young girls and the youth reach far and wide. And we also are keen to continue supporting the efforts of men and boys as partners in addressing traditional harmful practices and issues of violence against women. So once again, I would like to congratulate all the participants, all the winners, and this is a big responsibility that's been tasked on you. Use your work to promote an environment where girls and women can continue to prosper, can be able to follow their dreams and success. With this being said, I know we all want to hear who are the people who won, and I would like to welcome Salam to give us the way forward. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you for the for your words as well. We are also very happy that you've partnered with us like in this unique endeavor, and also would like to say thank you to the GMAC team for the collaboration and partnership in these processes. I know we have been very challenged in choosing the finalists from the 173 submissions. So not only it's team, like let's choose to challenge, but it was also a challenging competition where we had to choose 9 finalists out of 173 submissions made. So well done to everyone, and also for the judges who have continuously go through all the submissions and ensure that we have the best out of the 173. Now we move to the stage that we have all been waiting for. As Karen mentioned, this competition was done in 2 categories, junior and senior categories. So the junior categories consist of age group between 15 and 24, and the senior category consists of age group between 25 and 35. Under each category, we assigned a winner prize, which is 2,500 USD, which will be shared between the first and second winners of the competition. We are very happy to see that winners are all present here in this call. They will also be given to show their work to the audience for the video submissions, and also for the articles, we'll be asking for the finalists to present their work in this podium. We'll start by announcing the winners from the junior categories who submitted videos and articles. We'll go ahead and start from the video submissions from the junior categories. It's my great pleasure to announce the first winner under this category, who will take the prize amounting to 1,500 USD. Who is Jennifer Kayombo from Tanzania, who submitted a video under the theme, Let's Choose to Challenge to Improve Access to Education to Girls. So if I can say a few words about Jennifer. Jennifer is a 24-year-old girl, an author, youth leader, girls and women activist, certified by the UN Tanzania as an SDG Youth Ambassador Champion. She was recognized as one among 100 2020 Tanzania Shiro and Superwoman 2021 award winner in the category of gender equality. Congratulations, Jennifer. I'm going to ask Jenny, maybe first, Jennifer, to speak to us like in less than 1 minute, just to say hi, what you feel about winning this competition, before we show off the video that got the winning prize.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. As I was previously introduced, my name is Jennifer Kayombo. And I'm very happy and very excited because I have been working on this initiative for so long, and I'm looking forward to start implementing this very soon. My initiative is called Dadamku. It, with resources, knowledge, and opportunities, can be an agent of change of our community. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much, sir. And congratulations again. We can show the video that was submitted by Jennifer.
I wanted to say congratulations, namesake. Jennifer is a winning name. Congratulations.
Naomba taulo za kike 1,000.
Ni 2,000 dadangu. Kwa serious basi na kazi za watu.
Hapa inabidi tu nimuulize dada anavyotengeneza vile vitambaa anisaidie, maana sina namna.
Thank you, Jenny, for showing the video. I think there was a bit of like an internet challenge. So the video talks about the access to sanitary pads and how it affects a girl child. So thank you, and also congratulations again, Jennifer, for taking the winning prize. The second winner under this category of video submissions under junior is Eastmond Muenda from Kenya, who submitted a video under the theme Let's Choose to Challenge to Improve Access to Education to Girls. Congratulations again, Eastmond. Just to say a few words about Eastmond. Eastmond is a film and media student in Moi University, main campus, Kenya. He has been a filmmaker for 4 years now and passionate about telling films for change and storytelling from a new perspective. He also the founder of TV Productions and won some film awards in 2020. For example, the Kalasha Award for Best Student Film. Congratulations, Eastmond. You are the winner of the prize, 1,000 USD. We would like also to hear from you briefly before we show off your video submission. Eastmond, over to you.
Hi, my name is Eastmond Mwenda. This is my baby cousin. Her name is Yvonne Mwashe. We did the film Mukami, and it is a film basically regarding provision of quality education, but above all, gender equality, especially in underdeveloped areas. So we have been able to do some work in our rural home, which is in Daraka, in Meru. And we did the film just as a form of empowerment to the youth, because we actually even shot the film on phone. And currently we are trying to work on making it a feature story. So we're currently in the production stages of making Kenya's first feature film shot on phone, but we're in the funding stages. So we're still trying to, find the funding to make it work. But with this, I'm sure we'll be able to make a step forward. So thank you so much, Plan International and all the other involved bodies. Thank you so much. And this is really exciting. I don't know, Yvonne, you have something to say?
No.
No, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Eastmond. And now we'll show the video. We cannot hear the voice, Jenny.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Jaselam.
We cannot hear the voice, the video. Are you playing the video, Jenny?
Yes, I am doing that.
Thanks.
This school abanende kwa uka leko no serero o ya number 1 o ndetera ke watakira wa ndetera te goro ga be tibu ga ba be tibu Mokami ke ku school emne tu no to go tia tuira e goro tibu wa ruda na Tiko yango oya choba kwere wega nonto da wada moti kombera ngandi yo ukam choba kwere bwaga kwere mukamina tiko ndo diskundi nonto no kwana ababona ke ko bana tigira ndamuro ka bama no tiga doma kare ke mwari ki age ke tege do kagu
+1. No, I don't have to do the corona. Can I know where I able to corona when I'm there? No, yes, I am there. I told you. Nada kuonyesha. Kama mimi sasa najua wangalia madini kwa kwa ongeza kujua. Hesabu ni piramidi tatu. 1 2 3 1 2. Mukami. Nenda.
Mukami. Ngomenya mara kugendera kwenu mucie. Na mara mwana mwari agendagira kingomba kuthoma. Manta makuendelea bwega mucie? Tiga kumaka. Ntugo mwe ekuruba ketha bena inja ucensia nthiguru ino. Ukoigwa Mukami? Ukoigwa?
Thank you very much, Istmon. It was a very interesting video that we saw. We haven't followed the interpretation, the translation down the video. It's about like how the girl child has been affected and how that effect have been somehow challenging her to focus on her education as well. Thank you once again, Istmon, and congratulations for winning. The second category aspect is, before we go into the senior, we also have received articles from the junior category beside the video. To mention, the winning prize for this category is also 2,500, which will be split into two. Under this category, I'm very happy to announce the first winner, who will take up the 1,500 USD for the submission that she has made in the article competition. I'm very excited and honored to call upon Jocelyn Makonguzi from Rwanda. Jocelyn, if I can say a few words about her, she submitted her article under a theme, Let's All Choose to Challenge to Improve Access to Education to Girls. Jocelyn is a 21-year-old and a student at the College of Science and Technology, where she does bioorganic chemistry. She's a youth advocate, mostly advocating for girls in crisis, because she believes in power of girls. She also involved in Plan International Rwanda's project, which raised her awareness about girls' rights. In 2018, she attended House of Lords Chamber debate in the UK, where it discussed about how to ensure young girls are able to achieve their full potential. She's a poet, and also she discovered this talent at the age of 10. Jocelyn, if you can say a few words with less than 1 minute, and also present to us your submission of the article, so that we can hear what you have submitted.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here with you. The pleasure, I'm going to share with you my article. Its title is Time is Now. You shouldn't be here speaking or writing your own stories. Your place is in the kitchen, raising children and looking after your husband. When you go back to do science, technology, or mathematics, because that is not what girls do. Do domestic subjects like home economics or art. Leave the real subject to the boys. Time is now to say no to the above and fight for a change in improving access to education to girls. Do you know that when you invest in girls, the benefit extends beyond the individual? Personally, I believe that we can see every girl in school in my lifetime. Before I go on, I first would like to echo the voices from my personal experience. Growing up, I have been told that my role in this world is limited by my gender. I was expected to cook, clean, and raise children. I was not expected to strive for any career other than secretary, nurse, librarian, or a teacher. However, I always dreamt of becoming either a scientist or a politician, but the society was not supportive. In my ordinary level secondary school, I passed exam with flying colors. So consequently, I got a chance of being sponsored by foundation. Imbuto Foundation is a foundation founded by the First Lady of Republic of Rwanda. Imbuto Foundation provided with me inspirational trainings, which opened my eyes and widened my mind, which made me decide to do sciences in advanced level. Currently, I'm doing bioorganic chemistry at College of Science and Technology. Today, I wonder, what if I didn't meet Imbuto Foundation to sponsor my education and provide with me inspirational trainings? The answer is, I would not even be able to tell this story. My dreams of becoming a scientist would have failed. No doubt I would not be who I am today. There are some girls who are not achieving their full potential because they are not supported, because their voices are not heard. They are seen as less ambitious or not good enough. In some areas, girls don't even deserve to go to school. They are hindered by historical background and culture, menstruation, gender-based violence at school, poverty, rape, discrimination, early pregnancy, trafficking, and lack of confidence. Today, I wanted to ask individuals in African Union, UNICEF, World Bank, Plan International, and other non-governmental organizations, East African community, parents, teachers, and society. What if we could invest in girls' education? What if we could stand up and empower girls from the very first day they start their school? What if we could create a comfortable and safe space where their views and opinions are accepted? The time is now.
For your inspiring words. I know it will affect many girls in the continent. So thank you very much. Thank you for being a voice for many girls in Africa. I will now go to the second winner under the junior category who have submitted article, who will 1,000 USD. His name is Russell Mwangala. I hope I pronounced the name right. From Malawi, who submitted the article submission under the theme "Let's All Choose to Challenge to End Child Marriage." We are very happy that we are joined by you, Russell. Russell, the floor is yours. Maybe before you go into presenting the article that you have submitted, maybe if I can say a few words about Russell. Russell is a 23-year-old born in Koma, a rather small district situated close to the capital city of Malawi, Lilongwe. He currently resides with his parents. Is the last born in the family of 3. He has 2 sisters. He attended his primary education in Lilongwe and also his secondary education. At the beginning of 2018, he was accepted into Daystar University in Kenya. In the month of January 2021, he became a member of a youth-led organization, the Leaders Circle New, focused on nurturing the future generation. Some of his other passions also include playing soccer, cooking, and getting himself updated with the latest current affairs. Russell, congratulations again. The floor is yours to say a few words and also present your article. Russell, you can unmute your mic and continue.
All right, thank you. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Russell. Go on.
Firstly, I'd like to say a big thank you to Plan Malawi, CSO Forum, and GMAC for organizing this ceremony. I'm very thankful for winning the prize and the award, and it will help my passion and further strengthen my hunger to continue pursuing issues to do with youth development and empowerment. So quickly, I'll just share my article for you, which was centered on let's all choose to challenge to end child marriage. Child marriages are a sign of some of the setbacks that collectively, as a world community, we have failed to address or correct. Today, there are nearly 70 million child brides worldwide, which translates to millions of girls who are significantly impeded in their access to human rights, education, health, and economic development. In Malawi, for instance, 42% of girls are involved in marriage below the age of 18, and a further 9 below the age of 9. To be able to end child marriages, there is the need to look at the root causes which range from a poor education structures and a lack of valuable information and skills access for young girls and boys, to poverty amongst families that leads them to marrying off their children in order to alleviate some of this burden. By finding practical solutions to these causes, we may be able to effectively transform the mindset towards child marriages and thus ending them. Firstly, it is paramount to enhance the access to high-quality education for both boys and girls, as girls with no education are 3 times more likely to get married before they turn 18, as compared to those with a certain level of education. This access to education may be encouraged by providing incentives such as scholarships that may help the youth to enroll and remain in school. It is also vital to strengthen school curriculum and introduce lessons relevant to both boys and girls' lives to enable them to develop supportive social networks to better advocate for their livelihoods. In addition, it is essential to provide economic support to girls and their families, as some parents benefit financially from marrying their daughters off. By improving the economic security for poor households through loans or an opportunity to take up income-generating skills, they can be able to have economic relief, thus shielding them from seeking to marry off their daughters. Furthermore, it is vital to educate parents and community leaders as they hold the key to deciding when a girl marries. This may be done through meetings and gatherings on which they may be taught about child marriages and how the impacts of that have on health and the future of both boys and girls. This in turn may cause a shift in attitude as communities are more likely to challenge traditional norms and expectations in girls especially. Lastly, it would be of importance to follow all these steps with the passing of supporting laws that prohibit child marriage and make mandatory a legal age for marriage, a legal minimum age for marriage. Thus, it is crucial to advocate for the enforcement of such laws and also raise awareness amongst traditional leaders and government too. It is important to have legal and policy reforms to help strengthen already existing laws and further working with community policy forums to set punishments for those that go against these laws. If all these recommendations are followed and enforced, then child marriages may be eradicated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Russell. Thank you for the words of advice and also for the recommendation, which is one of the very important parts of the submission. We want to take the recommendations out of the submissions and ensure that we incorporate them in any advocacy initiative that we do, and also in most of our engagement and also the partners' engagement that are present here. So thank you very much. Now we are done with the junior competition and we move to announcing the winners of the senior competition, which is within the age range of 25 to 35. And also, as we did in the previous part, we will also be having announcement both on videos and articles. So we will start from the video submissions from the senior competition. I'll be announcing them in order now. So starting from the video submission, under the senior category, video submission, there were 3 finalists, fortunately, who also shared the winning prize of 3,000 USD. The first winner who will take up the 1,500 USD prize would be very happy and excited to announce Ayuma Michel from Kenya. She submitted a video under the theme, Let's Choose to Challenge Traditional Gender Roles to Improve Economic Growth. Ayuma, if I can say a few words about Ayuma. Ayuma believes in a world where global women's stories change the world. She's on a mission to empower progressive women leaders to change the world using their stories. She's an award-winning communications specialist with more than 12 years of experience in diverse storytelling fields. Journalist by training and natural entrepreneur since age 11, she embraces the business of storytelling for global and social impact. She is also a global goodwill ambassador and was advisory council member at the Women Economic Forum 2017. Ayuma is a TEDx speaker and the mouth storyteller who also host women meetups and virtual safe spaces for more than 2,000 progressive women to find their voices, pursue their purpose, and thrive. She's changing the world one woman's story at a time. Ayuma, before we present your video submission, I will give you less than 1 minute just to say what you feel about winning this prize.
Ayuma, you're muted.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Plan International, CSO Forum, GMAC, the AU, UNICEF, all stakeholders who've been part of this event, and also my fellow winners. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot for us as African youth to actually have such a platform to air our feelings, to air our views, and also our experiences. I want to say thank you so much for choosing me as a winner, especially as an African woman entrepreneur. This time, especially during COVID, many of our businesses have been hit, especially youth-led, women-led businesses. You know, the main places where this prize is going to go is definitely to keep my business alive. As you know, the COVID has really hit many businesses, and in my country, Kenya, every year, about 400,000 small businesses normally close down just because of lack of policies, resources, funding, and stuff like that. So you can only imagine what COVID has added onto that. So by winning this prize, you guys are actually empowering my business, my woman-led business, my youth-led business to stay alive. And because I work with fellow business women, it's also adding to the efforts of keeping fellow women's businesses alive, because I do work with women businesses. So I want to say thank you, and once more urge all of us to remember, if we want Africa to be successful, we need to empower 50% of us who are our women and our girls. Our women hold 50% of our magic, 50% of our economic contributions, 50% of our ideas, right? And 50% of our prosperity. And it all starts from home, because the unit of a nation is a family. So we need to start empowering our daughters, our sisters, our cousins right from home, because we hold 50% of a more prosperous Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ayuma. Thank you for the wonderful submission that you have made. Jenny, if you can play us the submission so that everyone can see.
Hello, I'm Ayuma Michelle, and I'm 32 years old, and I am from Kenya. I choose to challenge traditional gender roles to improve economic growth for the following reasons. At around age 10, I became very, very aware of an unwritten rule in my family, which is that women are to be seen and not to be heard. This especially played out during family holidays in the village, when men and boys would gather under the village shack, and they would have so much fun discussing their dreams, their goals, their visions, politics, business, and money. Big, big money. But as for women and girls, it's as though we never received that invite, because we spent all day trapped in the smoky village kitchen, working hard, plowing, tilling the soil in tilling the land in the farm, and also just doing a lot of domestic chores. I heard so many things women said about being disciplined and doing what the family desires you to do. But hardly did I ever hear the women talk about their dreams, their aspirations, and money till today. This really affected me as a woman growing up, because it somehow made me feel as though I'm not welcome on these decision-making tables of business, of politics, and where big money was being discussed. It really did affect me. But later on in my years, when I decided to explore entrepreneurship, I was really inspired by the men in my family, the greatest of whom are my great-grandfather and my father. But unfortunately, because of my gender, I never received the same support that the men received in my family. In fact, I'd never received financial support, emotional support, or even social support. I was on my own. It's literally a miracle that I survived, and that 5 years on, my business is still on. even during a global pandemic. You see, I highly recommend our society to think things through, especially from the family unit. Why? I believe that the unit of a nation is the family, and I believe that's where real change really starts. I challenge our families and our communities to invite both boys and girls to decision-making tables, to tables where dreams, big conversations, big money, politics, and business are being discussed. And also to invite boys and girls, women and men to equally contribute towards our family's growth, but also our national growth. Entrepreneurship has no gender. And if we hold back our women, we are holding back 50% of the world's greatness, contributions, ideas, and magic. I challenge our societies, starting with the family, to invite women and girls to great decision-making tables, because we are the secret sauce to our economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Well done for the video. Round of applause for you as well. And we will definitely use some of the messages that you have outlined in the video. So well done, Michelle, Ayuma, and thank you for participating in this challenge as well. Now we move to announcing the second winner under this category. I'm sure all of you have saw the video that was played earlier on, which was a video from Marshall Dayton, who will be getting the second winning prize of 1,000 USD. He submitted the video under Let's All Choose to Challenge to End Child Marriage. So if I can say also a few words about Marshall Dayton. Marshall is a journalist and a multimedia developer by profession. He is the founder and CEO of Freelance Web Solution, a company which provides digital solutions within Malawi and abroad since 2010. He is also the founder and editor-in-chief of Malawi First Muslim online publication. In 2015, he completed a business and entrepreneurship institute at the University of Notre Dame in the United States of America under the Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders, YALI. In 2016, he completed a professional practicum at Kumakombo Community Radio in Zimbabwe as part of the Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders host activities. Marshall is also an executive director for a community-based organization called Girl Child Education Movement, located in his home village, Magochi, in eastern part of Malawi. The Girl Child Educate Advocate also served as a global youth ambassador for the A Word at Schools campaign from 2015 to 2018. This is a campaign by Tier World, a UK-based charity. Currently, Marshall also sits at the National Youth Council of Malawi as a board member. Congratulations, Marshall. So we have shown your video earlier, but we want to hear from you in less than 1 minute what you feel about winning this competition, and also if you can also give us a brief highlight of how it feels. Please continue, Marshall.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Marshall.
Okay, first of all, I should thank you, Plan International, as well as all members who have made this possible. This competition has really given us an opportunity to share the stories that we actually encounter on a daily basis as we try to empower the girl child in our home country. So the video was inspired by the true events that we have encountered for the past 5 years that I've been working in my community. So it's about a family which forced its daughter into an early marriage, and she was married off to a man older than her. And at the end of the day, she happened that she contracted HIV AIDS, and also because she was so young, she couldn't manage to handle the labor, and she ended up dying at the labor ward. And because she couldn't handle the labor, it happened that she lost her baby. So it was a double loss for the family. They lost their daughter as well as the expected baby. So of which the family regretted at the end of the day. So yeah, that's all about the theme. So thank you so much for this. And I believe that this, and I hope that this will continue so that we can continue sharing these stories. There are so many stories, and this is just one of them that we are encountering on a daily basis. There are so many challenges that the girls are facing in Malawi. And this is the only option, and this is the only opportunity for us to be able to share those real stories, those true stories with the world. So thank you so much for this. I really appreciate, and I have to thank my team and everyone who was involved into our project. Though it's a short video, but you can't handle it alone. So there were so many people who were involved, my friends. And so I have to thank them for believing in me, for telling them that this is the idea. Can we do this? So they said, yes, it's a doable idea. Let's go for it. So I'm really thankful for them for making sure that this video is successful.
Thank you very much, Marshall, and congratulations again for winning the second prize. We are happy that you are able to join us as well. We're to see the video as well played in the previous session.
Yes.
Fortunately, we have three candidate finalists in this session. The third this category, we have a third winner who will take up an additional 500 USD. Her name is Sarah Ntwambwe from Democratic Republic of Congo. She submitted a video under a theme "Let's Choose to Challenge to End Child Marriage" under a title "Change Your World." So if I can say also a few words about Sarah. Sarah is Congolese origin, born in Goma in 1996. She is the third daughter of her family. She also expressed her life in a very authentic way. She stood out, and today through the organization that she started in 2018 called Change Your World. She influenced the lives of more than 10,000 girls in her company and also in her community. She is also currently the president of the organization Change Your World. She is also president of the Provincial Youth Association for Sexual and Reproductive Health, also Provincial Gender Secretary for the Defense of Human Rights. Once again, congratulations, Sarah. You can also say a few words before we play your video. Sarah Ntwambwe. Okay, I don't see Sarah's name on the list. Maybe if she registered under different name. Sarah, are you online? Okay, I don't think we have Sarah online, but we'd like to say congratulations once again. And we'll be happy to hear from you maybe in other forums. And congratulations also to the group in total who have submitted their video under the senior category. Now the last category that we'll be announcing, which also constitute a winning prize of 2,500, is we have two finalists under this category. So this category is under the senior category who have submitted articles. From this category, I'm very happy and excited to announce the first winner of the article under the senior category. who will take up the price of 1,500 USD. Her name is Abalo Irene from South Sudan. Congratulations, Abalo. She submitted an article under the sub-theme of Let's All Choose to Challenge Traditional Gender Roles to Improve Economic Growth. If I can also read a few lines who Abalo Irene is. She's a South Sudanese by nationality and currently residing in Juba. She is the first of two children from a single mother, Miss Vivian Oria. She's a chemical engineer and also an energy and environmental engineer. She holds a bachelor degree in chemical engineering from University Technology Petronas in Malaysia. She also holds a Master of Engineering in Energy and Environmental Management from the University of Pittsburgh in Germany. She's currently pursuing a second Master's in Wind Engineering from the Flensburg University of Applied Science in Germany. She's a very passionate writer, environmentalist, and a renewable energy enthusiast. Sometimes she likes to play volleyball and football. We're very happy and excited to have you as a first winner, Abalo Irene. If you can give us the article that you have submitted. Irene, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Elam. I would like, first of all, to thank Plan International, GaiMac Network, and the CSO Forum for giving me this opportunity and also for finding it worthy, that my poem is worthy of being here, of receiving an award so much. So this poem was basically written to encourage South Sudanese women that they are worthy getting leadership roles. They are worthy of, engaging in politics, in economic things, and as well as in science, what we call the STEM courses, as I come from a STEM family. So this poem was written just to give them a bit of an encouragement. It's a poem called The South Sudanese Woman. So I'll read it shortly. So the South Sudanese woman. To be a South Sudanese woman means to bear the brunt of wars and the never-ending conflict, to be wrapped in the struggles for survival, but still dust yourself off and be energy that your children, your husband, your family need. To be a South Sudanese woman means to continuously strive for equality, to be brave enough to stand tall in an environment where you are expected to stand still and wait. Wait to finally get that recognition that you very much deserve, and yet still asked to wait. The Sudanese woman is one is birthed in an impeccable strength, clothed in an everlasting patience, and nourished with immense resilience. She will rise. Like the phoenix, she will rise. Rise above the always undermined, implemented consolation that 35%. Skin so dark, so sun-kissed, a whole human pearl. Footprints covered in melanin drips. She is the melanin drip. The fashion world is incomplete without her. Against all odds, she conquered stereotypes in the engineering world, in the lawmakers' world, in the medicine world, in all the various walks of lives. She even became vice president. That, my friend, is tenacity. Melanin goddesses with tenacity to match. A real South Sudanese woman is my mother, is your mother, are our mothers. A real South Sudanese woman is my sister, is your sister, are our sisters. She is me, she's you, and she is us. Like the diamond built from pressure, endured heats of abuse, suffered unimaginable pains, did not for 1 second complain, but still lived through it all. Beauty so undeniable, endurability so determination unmatched. That, my dear, is the South Sudanese woman. Protect her, cherish her, appreciate her, but most importantly, love her. Thank you so much. This was my piece.
Thank you very much, Abalo, for the beautiful poem that you wrote. And also, again, congratulations for winning the prize. We are very happy that you are able to read the poem as well in your own words. And we are very happy to see it succeed as well. Again, congratulations and a big round of applause to you as well. Now we announce thanks. Now we announce the final, who's the second winner in the senior article competition, who will take up the remaining 1,000 USD from the winning prize. Her name is Eme Inikwang. I hope I pronounced it very well. Eme Inikwang from Nigeria. She has submitted an article under Let's All Choose to Challenge Traditional Gender Roles to Improve Economic Growth. Congratulations, Eme. And also, if I can say a few words about Eme. Eme has over 4 years of experience in development and currently serves as the program coordinator at Philanthropy Circuit. In her role, she focused on producing and providing knowledge, resources, and tools to strengthen African nonprofits and foster collaborative spaces. She is committed to influencing the narrative of development practice on the continent and an ardent gender, power, and systems change proponent. Partaking in networks and engaging with global civil society through the Generation Equality Forum, remaining INGO's Social Labs Catalyst 2013 Network, and Wings Enabling Environment Working Groups. Eme holds degree in International Studies, Diplomacy, and Strategic Studies. She is also a fellow with the Future Africa Network and a member of the Africa Civil Engagement Academy. Congratulations, Eme. We are also very happy to receive your submissions and also for winning the prize 1,000 USD for the submission. Now we'll give you the floor to present your submission. Over to you, Eme. Hi, Eme. We cannot hear you. Maybe can you unmute your mic? Hello? Eme? Eme, your mic is on mute.
Hello?
Oh, yes. Now we can.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much to everyone who is available. I'm going to be starting my video. Thank you. I just want to use the opportunity to say a big thank you to the entire team behind this, and then for the opportunity to also present the work that I have, and then also given the opportunity to win, because it's really a big deal as an African and an African woman. And then, of course, considering the themes that were put out and what we're actually talking about today and the future that we want to see. I'm going to need to go off camera for a bit because I need to also ensure that I'm connected throughout this time. So please bear with me. Okay. The title of my article was Redefining Gender Roles for Africa's Economy and Youth Engagement. So you see, once upon a time, I had wished I were a boy. Boys could play and stay out all they wanted, did not have to cook or do chores, and got away with everything. As a grown woman, it occurs to me now that in my childhood desire to be male, even as a child, I perceived the bias, concepts of power, freedom, equality, and access within gender roles formed by society. Now, there's a nuance to gender. Gender here is referring to the social assignment of traits and competencies to people based on their biological sex. It is nuanced, and as society seeks to perfect clear-cut functional roles, even children can perceive its consequential bias early as it goes on to shape the psyche and personality. Children growing into men and women at each phase of life are exposed to newer experiences and education, which evoke change over time. And this rings truer for no other phase in life than at youth. Now, concerning gender roles and Africa's economy, Africa, like much of the world, is seeing a displacement of ideals regarding traditional gender roles that do not bear weight in today's world or open economies. The meshing of global technologies, relations, and economies has caused deep-rooted cultures of suppression, patriarchy, ageism, tribalism, and violence to be upturned across the developing continent. The call to forsake traditional gender roles in favor of gender equality and balance is hinged on the understanding that economies benefit from more women graduating with degrees in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM graduates, and then more women actively participating in the labor market and more women closing the pay gap. A society that does not prove conducive for both male and female young minds will lose them to competing economies, vices, or complacency. However, where youth are unable to bear the brunt of restrictions to their ideologies and beliefs, common in repressive systems in Africa, they seek asylum in more open economies, in quotes, greener pastures. I'll be referencing it in my motherland. This drain of potential, talent, skills, and knowledge does not bode well for Africa's economy and constitutes a yearly loss of 2.5% of human capital resources. Now, there are pathways for participation that youth can employ. As young Africans and truly global citizens of the world, the onus is ours in seeking to learn, speak, co-create, and protect our spaces while pursuing social impact on the continent. 1, to learn. Forming the codes and tenets of one's personality is as much a call to society as it is to the individual. And as youth, understanding equal access and rights shape the concepts of gender roles. We are to be the generation that learns from the experience of our forebears, seeking knowledge and understanding the detriment of gender bias and the effects it has in homes, across society, polity, and industry. Secondly, to challenge. The bias of traditional gender roles and its limitations can only permeate across generations if we allow it. We must be the generation that creates institutions for unlearning and relearning, one that follows the data and realizes early on that we can truly be free to create new systems if we are brave enough, finding outlets of expression and activism through talent in our immediate environment and on the internet. Thirdly, to co-create. We can be the generation that creates newer policies, structures, organizational models, and work practices that boast inclusive and equitable systems, calling out bias, supporting and creating online and in-person action groups, meetups, and projects to help educate others, working within schools, networks, local, state, and federal levels of policymaking to create awareness and ensure gender causes are supported. And then lastly, we must protect. The importance of your mental health more than ever is clear. While beliefs and ideals must be protected, must be processed, spoken of, and acted upon, they most importantly must be protected. Young African men and women face shifting cultures, and in bottlenecked societies, the disparity between what they live through and what is attainable in other societies is hard-hitting. Creating safe spaces with friends and family, partaking in forums that share your beliefs, creating time to build your talents, enjoy hobbies, and then rest, protect your mental health, and keeps you balanced enough to always think and take the next best action. We live in an evolving time with traditional gender roles having to evolve with the times, and hopefully Africa's economies with it. Thank you so much for giving me this platform, and my best and wishes to everyone else who are also winners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eme, and congratulations once again. Also a big round of applause to you. Now we have concluded announcing the winners of the competition. We are very happy that we have been joined by all the winners except one, which might be due to some technical difficulties, but we are very happy that all of you have joined us and were able to present your works. By this, we conclude the announcement of the winners and would like to say again, congratulations to you all. It was a beautiful journey where we have learned a lot about issues, and also it was also an opportunity that made us as development partners closer to the young generation in Africa. We hope also to continue in this endeavor on a yearly basis. The aim of the competition is not solely the monetary aspect, but also bringing the voice of young people from all corners of Africa into the various stakeholders that are working in the continent, and also regarding the issues that affect them. We will also be giving recognition to the other finalists in due course, even though it's not a monetary value, as we are short on budget, but we'll give recognition to others as well. At this juncture, I would like to call upon two of our guests who were here with us throughout this platform to give us their congratulatory remarks and also words of encouragement. We are here joined us by Dr. Naranzai, who is the AU Goodwill Ambassador on Ending Child Marriage, and also Dr. Tapiwa from the AU Women, Gender and Youth Directorate. We are very happy to be joined by you. You have been an ally to our work and also support different engagement that we are doing. And we are very happy to hear from you. And also we are very pleased and happy that you honor our invitation and are able to join us to give your remarks. I'm very sure it means a lot to the winners, also hearing from you. And also very happy that you have joined us. Dr. Naranzai, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, Naranzai.
I am an African woman, and when we celebrate, we even have to scream. Congratulations.
Yeah,
I just want to
say that again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have to celebrate like we do in the village. We beat the drums. Today is very special. I want to congratulate every person who did submit for this award. I choose to challenge, and you were choosing change. You were choosing solutions. You were choosing the Africa we want. You were choosing an Africa of dignity, of rights, and where the young people, the girls and boys can see their future, where we are free from violence. Congratulations. When your names were read, when you shared your thoughts, when we saw your videos and you read your articles, I was just saying to myself, this is Africa. We are in Africa where young people are more than a statistic. We are the voice and the solution. We are the present and the future. I want to thank the organizers so much. And all the partners who put amazing initiative together. As the African Union Goodwill Ambassador, I also did make a decision. I took a decision to choose to contribute and make every effort to ending child marriage, which we know is not a marriage, is sexual abuse, is exploitation, it's rape. When I listened earlier to Sam Noga at the opening, when I listened to Esther Prosperous at the beginning, when I listened to all of you throughout, and when I follow the work that UNICEF is doing and our amazing Total News team, I'm like, yes, and yes, and yes. This is Africa, where we name the problem, but we invest more time in finding solutions. And each award is a game changer. You are changing the game, you are transforming norms, you are providing knowledge, you are pushing for services, and you are the voice of Africa. Thank you so much. I also liked the recognition, because when young people contribute, do videos, they spend time, bundles, they connect with colleagues. So I also just want to thank so much the organizers for recognition for a recognition that enables the work to continue. Let me also appreciate my African Union as the AU Goodwill Ambassador. I continue to also be so much grateful to the African Union and the way in which the AU is stepping up to advance gender equality and women's rights and children's rights. And I know that we have my sister, Dr. Tapiwa, with us, who is going to speak on the AU. When I was listening, I was also listening with another ear. I was listening with an ear of a Goodwill Ambassador who is in the process of writing her report. I'm in the process of writing my report on ending child marriage, and definitely this amazing work would form part of the reflections in terms of the deep insights that we have on the continent. Congratulations. Let's continue pushing. Let's continue transforming Africa. Let's continue claiming the rights that are ours. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naranzai, for being an ally to our work, also for joining us and honoring our invitation to come and speak to the winners on this special day. We are very happy that you have joined us, and hopefully you will continue our engagement more on also. Next, I would also like to invite our second guest who will give us the congratulatory remarks and also words of engagement. Dr. Tapiwa, who's representing here with us, representing the AU Women, Gender and Youth Directorate. Dr. Tapiwa, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Salam. And I echo what my sister, Dr. Nyarazai, has just said. And of course, it's the beating of drums. And this is to congratulate you all. I'm smiling where I am. I've really enjoyed this ceremony, to be honest. And allow me, to get into my speech following all the protocols that have been observed here. Of course, on behalf of Ms. Maloka, the Acting Director of the Women, Gender and Youth Directorate, and also on behalf of the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Mr. Musa Faki Mahamat, and on my own behalf, it is a pleasure to join this virtual intergenerational dialogue and the day where we're celebrating and commemorating the African child. And this award ceremony, the beautiful one that just took place on Let's Choose to Challenge competition. Of course, Ms. Maloka has asked me to convey her heartfelt apologies that she's unable to join us due to exigencies of duty. Nonetheless, Ms. Maloka asked me to express her deep appreciation to all of you for taking time off your busy schedules to join during this celebratory event that we've just witnessed. She also requested that I convey her gratitude and congratulate Plan International Children's CSO Forum, GMAC Network for organizing such a beautiful dialogue on partnering for the implementation of Africa's agenda for children, Agenda 2040, and this day of the African Child commemorations and the award ceremony. Our valued collaboration and partnership on a number of activities have led to enhance gender equality, women's empowerment, and youth development across the continent, and we value this partnership. Congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, let's choose on improving access to basic healthcare services, to girls, improving access to education to girls, ending child marriage, traditional gender roles to improve economic growth, and building the culture of peace and tolerance fits perfectly well with what the Women, Gender and Youth Directorate is trying to achieve under Agenda 2063 Aspiration 6 of an Africa whose development is people-driven, relying on the potential offered by the African people, especially its women and youth, and caring for children. And through the AU Strategy for Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment 2018 to 2028. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to sincerely congratulate the girls and boys, the young men and young women on your excellent presentations, and more especially the winners of the Choose to Challenge for the brilliant way on how you have articulated the challenges and provided meaningful solutions to those problems. Your solutions and recommendations will surely help us all in implementing the Africa's Agenda for Children, Agenda 2040. However, allow me to say that every single child, adolescent, and the youth who participated, you are all winners. There is no failure. We are not leaving anyone behind. Moving forward, may I now take off the official hat and talk to you as a big sister or as an aunt. I do have some 5 key words of encouragement that I want to share with you so that those that didn't do well can do better next time, and those that did well this time to spread their wings and support others too to reach their level and accomplish together. First, have a passion and thirst for knowledge. Education is key. Never stop learning. Whether it's technology, it's a business acumen, or industrial knowledge, your success will come from the skills you have and the ability to distinguish yourself above all others. Use every spare minute of every day to learn new things, to expand your horizons and know more than you knew the day before. Always strive to be an expert in your field. Knowledge and skills give you insight, which in turn makes you more valuable to those around you. Secondly, step outside your comfort zone. Never stop stretching your boundaries. Take the risk. Be confident in yourself to achieve. Successful people that you've seen embrace risk and learn from their mistakes. Avoiding risk is a sure way to becoming to that. Staying safe does not promote personal or professional growth. Making a mistake is never a bad thing at all. You will never be measured or judged by a single mistake. The only people who never make a mistake are the ones who do nothing. Thirdly, be confident in yourself. Know your abilities, your strength, and your weaknesses. Do not be boastful, but just honest. Others will respect you for it. However, being confident does not mean becoming comfortable or complacent. You can always be replaced. Fourth, be a team player and build strong relationships. Relationships will be key in everything you do. Treat others with respect in all situations. Listen carefully to what they have to say. Approach every interaction as either an opportunity to learn from someone or to teach someone. People are inherently good. They want to help those around them. They can and become your knowledge, your network to bigger and better things. Never miss an opportunity to establish a relationship that will be valuable to you. Always seek out those you respect to help mentor you. Above all, your parents and guardians are your starting point. A mentor is someone who's more skilled and accomplished and can help you better navigate the everyday challenges that you will encounter. Fifth, be resilient. The most successful people are some of the most resilient ones, and quickly bounce back after a crashing blow or a minor setback. And six, that finally, never ever compromise your integrity. Your reputation is everything, and without it, you're nothing. Be known for being fair, honest, and consistent in all what you do. I now invite you, all those that participated, whether you won or you did not, I invite you to take part in some of the initiatives that we are implementing here at the African Union. We do have quite a number of activities that you may wish to join and enhance your skills. I will just highlight a few because of time, but you can go further and we can interact even outside this. Firstly, the African Union in August 2018 launched the joint venture on the African Girls Can Code initiative with the funding from UN Women and the International Telecommunication Unit. The idea behind was to close the digital gender gap in Africa by equipping young girls with digital literacy, coding, and personal development skills. The initiative was selected for its contribution to close the digital gender gap, as I mentioned. As such, the African Girls Can Code initiative uses a spark interest approach to attract young girls towards coding at early stages in order to guide them in selecting future careers in ICT. The African Girls Can Code initiative teaches girls also how to be creative in helping their peers and communities on teaching the negative impacts of harmful practices and creating apps to this effect. Secondly, we do have the 1 million by 2021 initiative that you can also join and be part of it. This was launched in 2019 by the AUC chairperson himself, and it is by facilitating connections between the AU member states, the corporate sponsors and development partners to inspire investment in African youth. It aims to create 1 million new opportunities for young Africans in education, in employment, entrepreneurship, and engagement across the continent. And this year, in December, we shall be launching what we're calling the 1 million next level. Now it's upscaling what we've achieved so far with the 1 million by 2021 initiative. So come join and work and enhance your skills through that. Last but not least, we do also have what we call in the African Union Youth Volunteer Program, where you can participate and be part, where you are able to be trained in all the fields that you're in and take part and be affiliated and deployed to any of our member states, as well as the African Union departments and the organs that are looking for young skills, innovative young people who can work and be part of that by honing your skills as well as giving back to the African people. So these are some of the initiatives that I've just highlighted at the moment to say, well, you can go beyond. You've won. Advance more. Those that haven't, there are other avenues, other things that I would want you to invite and be part and parcel, and let's move together so that we know the future that we always say is, in the future, but the future is right now. We should of it. I'm proud of you. I'm very happy and excited, and we are going to walk together through this journey. Congratulations